Hello, peep. Welcome to Comic Book Investment Chat, first episode of 2020. Yeah, I need to remind myself every time I say the year to say 2020 instead of 2019. In fact, I just signed a couple of checks yesterday and I still write down January 10th, 2019. Yeah, you know how I'm sure I'm not alone. I think a lot of people make that kind of mistake at the early part of the year every year. I do that too every year. It will take a little bit of my brain to train to write 2020. Welcome to the investment chat. I don't expect a lot of people is up and about, but my plans at the end of last year was going forward. I just gonna do a chat whenever I feel like doing it, and then people can always listen after. There is no requirement to listen during the live session, and it's more convenient for me to do whenever I find the time or have the desire to do it. Hello, James Watson. Hopefully, the audio is coming through clearly. Got my coffee. Beautiful, sunny, bright day today. Oh, look at that. Yeah, it's been very warm uh, the last couple of days. I mean, you're talking low 80s? You're talking January? Yeah, I'm sure some people are jealous out there that, oh my God, you have 80. From what I can tell, seem like this is not a very cold winter yet up in New England and upper part of the country. I haven't heard any kind of cold uh, spell of like sub-zero for weeks. Anyhow, you see the mess behind me and the boxes. Yeah, things are going. My my CGC sales video ended today, so I'm in the process of consigning and shipping this big box to my comic shop. That's my plan. I have, I think, 11 books in there. I have another batch of books coming back from CGC sometime next week. I don't know yet. They're getting ready to be graded. I don't know the grade, but you might see an unboxing, CGC unboxing sometime late next week. That's my guess. Okay, my guess is they will be done shortly, and I will do another sales, put some of those slab up for YouTube. Hello, Tadman. And then if they don't sell, then off to my comic shop they will go as well. So that's the plan. But right here, I have, I think I plan to send 12 books to my comic shop in this box. And then probably another around 10. I will keep shipping them to my comic shop. Um, Hello, comic book campaign. Thank you. Um, no, last year I sent about eight, on average, 8 books to Comic Link to be auctioned off from January through October. Altogether, I consigned 81 books to Comic Link last year, and then I consigned about 20 something to my comic shop. So altogether, okay, just over 100 slabs were consigned and sold at both my comic shop and Comic Link. Hello, Cougar. But as I mentioned in at the end of last year, my plan for this year is, instead of dumping them at Comic Link as I have done in the past many years. Okay, last year was not alone. I was doing that in 2016, 2017. Um, so my plan is to, not put them in auction because Comic Link auction is very uh, time format. I don't like that. In a bad market that we had last year, and I don't know yet how the market will pan out this year. For those that pay attention, Comic Link January auction just kicked off Wednesday. So there will be a game. I will launch the game tomorrow, but there will be a Price is Right game tomorrow. And, we'll see how the, the price action will be. But because of the weaker market that we had, for me, my strategy is going to be sending this book to my comic shop so that I have more control on when they go on sales. That's the key. Okay, I'm not gonna send a bunch of books to Comic Link and let it sit there for months and weeks or whatever, and then compete with 5 other copies. Mm-mm. I'm not playing that game. Not this year. Oh, Patrick is here, and he's about to head out for some estate sales. Good luck, Patrick. Yeah, there's estate sales here every weekend. Well, all the time. We live in Florida, where many people more regularly pass away. So yeah, there's a lot of estate sales. So for those that like to go to estate sales, one of the best places is Florida for sure. If you live down here and you like to do estate sales, there's a whole lot. Oh, speaking of estate sales, back in 2009, I saw an ad on a Craigslist, um, and comic books, of course, and I met up with the guy right at an address, and it turned out to be a storage unit. And he's like, I have been buying comic books from estate sales here in Sarasota for the past 12 years or some, like maybe 13, whatever, but it's like a teen in the teens. Okay. So he's like, yeah, I've been buying so much stuff and I got so much stuff. You will love it. You will love it. This is great. So he left the door, and my God, there was so many. There was just like, I didn't bother count, okay, but there was a lot of long boxes, and the majority of them were not in bags and board. They not even put in the long box neatly. They just dump in there, pile in there. Even the long box was not even kept neatly. Imagine, picture yourself, long box full of books with no lid, and then another box with full of books above it, crushing the books below. It's just so poorly maintained. And I remember going through maybe 5 or 6 long boxes, and I'm just like, there was a lot of 90s stuff, late 80s. I remember seeing a lot of X-Men books that was, you know, after Dave Cockrum left. But those books in low grade or mid grade aren't all that expensive or worth buying. And I remember going through that, and I just see a lot of late 80s, a lot of things that I was familiar with because I was buying stuff off the rack um, at that time. So I see a lot of stuff, and I just like, from every box, I went through like 5 or 6 boxes, and I'm just like, oh, this is exhausting. I'm not doing that. I'm not. No, the guy was kind of mad. He was mad that I wasted his time because he met up with me. and I literally spent maybe 20 minutes looking through those 5 or 6 boxes when he had a lot more. I have no idea how many boxes, but I just look at the 5 boxes that I can get my hands into because they was piled up so poorly that I'm just like, no, this is not the kind of. He's like, you barely spent any time looking at these things. There are so many more. What do you mean you're not interested in? But I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't have time. I made an excuse like, oh, I gotta go. I had a meeting. I remember making an excuse like, oh, I'm supposed to meet, my wife for lunch or something. And I'm like, I took off and he was not happy. But I'm just like, yeah, estate buys, buy wisely. On top of that, how about store wisely? What a mess. But yeah, that was my one run in with estate. I have seen people with great deals. There's a couple of business around here that deal with estate sales, and I went into them and I said, hey, do you how do you handle comic books? Is there a place? Forget it, okay? Forget it. Not down here. There are enough collectors down here, and CGC is right down here. So when it comes down to competition with estate sales and Craigslist and all that stuff, homie, don't do that because it's a waste of freaking time. Okay, this for a small town, there's way too many things going on, too many people competing for the same stuff. So I'm not gonna waste my time doing that. Um, Once again, quick housekeeping. I'm recording this audio so that it will be a podcast later. So for those that subscribe to, I don't even know how people can subscribe to my podcast channel to get notification. To be honest, somebody asked me that on email a couple of weeks ago in December, and I'm just like, I don't know. I sent them a link. Well, when I load the podcast, I think there is a link to download the audio. I never check how the podcast work. Okay, I just do it. I just know that literally like a couple hundred downloads happened last year on my podcast. So I'm guessing that when I load a podcast on Podbean, then there's a link to the audio podcast that people can download, and from that link, maybe people can see my channel and subscribe to it. And then in the future, whenever I load a podcast, they see it or get notification. That's all I know. Heck, I don't even ask people to click the bell, hit the notification button, and all that stuff on my channel here on YouTube. I put my stuff out there. People can listen. They do whatever they want. You know me. I'm not about begging for views and clicks and this and that and whatever. I'm sure what I just said just offended a few people. What you mean? Who's begging? Who are you insulting? You tell them whatever. Yes. So this is the investment chat. So one of the things that I want to talk about is that when it comes down to investing in this hobby, I get so many questions all the time about buy Cougar. You know, I get question on what book to invest. This has been, I get this type of question for years and years and years on YouTube. Okay, so it's not something that is new, but one other thing that I harp on a lot that I need to repeat is investing in high grade books, high grade keys, regardless if it is silver age or bronze or copper, is not a game I recommend. Okay, people can play, people can do whatever they want with their money. I'm not here to say it's a bad idea. What I can tell you is that you tend to get the biggest bang for your buck as far as percentage. That's the key. Okay, just like in my Art of the Flip Path to a Key videos, I talk about percentage because that is the key. Just like in investment return. Okay, I talk to my son about this all the time. I told him, when Amazon stock go from 2,000 to 2,100, the $100 jump seemed like a big deal, but percentage wise, it is not. Okay, it is not. It's 5%. Many stock move 5% in minutes. So if Amazon go from 2,000 to 2,100 in a week and you get 5% return, it's good. But focus on the percentage more so than on the price. Same thing with comic books. Okay, a lot of people look at Hulk 181 9.8 sold for $30,000. Wow. Yeah, I like to use Hulk 181 because it's a book that a lot of people know and understand. Well, guess what? Do you know what a Hulk 181 9.8 sold for in 2009? 26,000. Okay? Hulk 181, highest recording price over the past 10 years prior to the last 2 years. Okay, let's dive back to 2016. From 2009 to 2016, the highest recording price was 26,250, something like that. I checked out GPA a couple days ago. Back in 2009. And then that price didn't go, that book did not go anywhere near 26,000 for many years. Not 2010, not 2011, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, it started to creep up. And in 2017, it broke that price. But I think the highest recorded 9.8, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's like 34,000 or something like that. Okay, could be higher, could be 37,000, something like that. I have a mind fart right now, so I can't remember the exact number. But on the grand scheme of things, if the book go from 26,000, hypothetically speaking, okay, to let's say 40,000. Let's say the book top out at near 40,000 in 2018. That's a 50% gain, roughly, from 26,000 to 40,000, 39,000. Okay, quick math for the math challenge. 50% return over a 8-year span, 2009 to 9-year span. Is that a good return? Is that a good return? I can tell you, anyone that understands investment return say that's not good. Not good, not bad, but certainly there are a ton of other investment that give you much better return. The stock market, do you want to know what the stock market did between 2009 and a couple 100%. Okay, a couple 100%. Okay, more than 3 times, 4 times what Hulk 181 9.8 did. Now, as always, there's gonna be some people say, yeah, but it's much more fun holding a Hulk 181. You know what's fun for me? More money. Okay, let's be very blunt. Very blunt. If you invest that 26,000 in the stock market in 2009, by 2018, you would have 4 times that money, and you can go buy the Hulk 181 for free and still have 3 times more money left over. That's what I'm saying. It's just that, when it comes down to books and investment in this hobby, a lot of people use the the saying that heck, I could have bought that book 10 years ago for X dollar. I wish I did. I don't feel that way whatsoever because of the same example I told everyone here. I did not own a Hope 181 until, gosh, I'm trying to do the math quick, 7 years ago. Yeah, for a huge X-Men Wolverine fan, why did I wait that long to buy a Hope 181 and paid like $1,200 for that book when I could have bought that book for, say, 200 10 years earlier? Well, the 200 that I could have spent on that book 10 years earlier, I'm pretty sure I have made enough profit on the market, in the stock market, to make a lot more than 5 times the money. So it's one of those things where it's really hard for people to go to look back and see that for the most part, the investment return of comic books for many books are not very good. Okay, they're not bad, but outside of a few outliers, a lot of the books are just not good investments. They are fun to collect, but make no mistake, if you want money, if you want profit, if you want good return, this hobby is not on the top of what best to invest your money. You can put some money in the collectible market. Okay, it's a good way to diversify your investment. I'm not saying don't do it. I have plenty. Okay, you see, you watch my channel. I have plenty of money put into this hobby, but I am also have much more in the stock market because that's where the bigger bang is. Now, when it comes down to comic books, my opinion is that the biggest bang is in the low to mid grade keys. Okay, you get more but bigger percentage return by focusing on buying low to mid grade keys instead of high grade. I use the Hope 181 as an example, but if you go and take a look at how you know Fantastic for any book in the highest grade and go back in GPA record, and you will see that many of them, if you go back to whatever the previous record high was back 10 years ago, the return is not good. The return is a fraction of what the stock market, the bond market, or many other market is. Like I just said before, some people will say it's much more fun. Like, as I will repeat again here, you know what's more fun? More money. Oh, hello, Scott Farr. Um, hello, Reaper, Anthony. Ben. Ben Compton. Yes, I'm sure you just heard what I said. Mid grade is very good to invest in. The best percentage gain is in mid grade books. Okay, high grade books. The problem with high grade books, even like let's say throw out like say Giant Size X-Men 1. Okay, Giant Size X-Men 1. Once again, go back in history to see how poorly Giant Size X-Men 1 did over the past 10 years. It went crazy the last 2 years because of the whole Fox and Disney deal. It did go crazy. But if you look at GPA, Giant Size X-Men 1, 9.8, and you will see a decade of nothing. Okay, nothing. So it's easy to isolate 2015 to 2018 and say, wow, the book double, the book triple. The previous 10 years, nothing. Actually, down. So you can't look at an investment return of any short time and make a decision, an opinion 10 years forward. A lot of people ask me, Why would you use GPA instead of Go Collect? Go Collect is better than this and this and then. I like data. I like to look at numbers, and GPA have data that go way back to the very beginning. Well, not the exact beginning because CGC, for those that didn't pay attention, CGC turned 20 years last week. I think January 4th was the 20-year anniversary. CGC had been around 20 years, and I believe GPA started in 2003. Okay, so they have a database of price that go way back, and to me it's useful for my own use. Okay, I don't care what other people use. A lot of people don't give a damn. Okay, I have got enough emails and comments and thing about why don't you use Go Collect? It's better than this, whatever. I'm comfortable using GPA. I'm comfortable paying a little bit more for GPA, and I like GPA. I did subscribe to Go Collect when they first came around, and I stay subscribed to Go Collect for a couple of years. I think about a year and a half or two, more than 1 year for sure. And then I find that I was not using Go Collect that often because why? CBCS, yeah. I start to use Go Collect 4 years ago for whenever CBCS launch. Okay, that was when I first used Go Collect because they record price on PGX as well as Go Collect. And then after about a year and a half, almost 2 years of seeing how poorly CBCS did, and my hunch is that it's not going to improve much in the next decade. I don't need to subscribe to a service that tell me how CBCS price is going to be because it's likely will lag CGC price. And that was the case for 4 years now, almost 5 years. So that's why I unsubscribed to Go Collect because I just didn't feel a need to spend to buy another pricing service when I'm not going to use what they are better at. Okay, no doubt, Go Collect is better because they expand beyond CGC. But is it better when I don't deal with CBCS at all? Not really. Sure, I do sub a few books last year to CBCS, and so not that I'm not saying I do not use CBCS, but at the same time I do not need to know what CBCS sell for. I know it will sell for less. So I don't need to know. I did a series last year on how poorly they did against CGC. Yeah, plenty of proof in those videos. No need for me to subscribe to Go Collect to know that. Let's see, it's been half an hour, so yeah, I'm halfway there. Comic Link auction, Good as Gold is here. He said Comic Link auctions going on. There are going to be some huge deal. Well, we'll see. I can't wait to see the result. I haven't looked at all the different books in the auction to see what kind of. I'm not buying anything, so I'm kind of just like, I pick out 5 books in the auction to do my Price is Right game. But I haven't looked at all the different listing to see if there's anything there that I might be interested in, which I'm pretty sure is not. Thus, I haven't paid attention to what's going on. It just kicked off. The hot and heavy action with Comic Link tend to happen the last day. The last day of the auction bidding, that's when you see more action, the most action, the last hour. Okay, there's no sniping, so a lot of people wait until the last day to start bidding, and so I will wait until the last day to pay more attention. Good as Gold said, there is a showcase for, yeah, yeah, you know, like I said in my wish list video in December, there's nothing there. Showcase 4 and Teenage Mutant Ninja #1 is some of the books I keep my eyes out, but for those that pay attention here, let me repeat one more time. What do I like to buy? Raw books. So the odds of me bidding on a slab is, yeah, you see this. For those that listen to the podcast, it's the sign for 0. Okay? So I don't care if they have 10 copies of Showcase 4. Don't care. And for those that say, oh, what are you talking about? If you watch my channel, what do I buy? Even X-Men 1, Fantastic Four 1, I buy them raw. I can find them raw. Eventually, I will see a raw copy of Showcase 4 that I will buy. But I be damned to buy a slab. Be damned. I'm just so anti-slabbing as far as for my own collection that I just can't even look at a slab and no, not for me. In many ways, I think it helped me be disciplined in buying. I don't have the FOMO. I don't have to buy something to have something. It's not important. It never was. It's just something that, make no mistake, it's a fun hobby for me for many years, but it's never been a FOMO thing with me with any books. If I see it, I buy it. Luckily, over the years, I was able to find a lot of great deals on a lot of raw books, and I'm happily buy them when they were presented to me. So I think eventually there will be a raw Showcase 4 somewhere. But it's not all that important to me. Isn't a slab collection easier to insure? Does it matter? I insure the whole collection. I buy a big insurance thing for my books. I don't care. Okay, that people are just way too obsessed with things that don't matter to me. Do you think, Good as Gold, I'm going to call you out. Do you think I care? After all the stuff that I own raw about, is it easier to insure? Do I care? The answer is no effing way. It's, in fact, it's almost, to me, it's a non-issue, because when it comes down to if you deal with the insurance company, you understand how they let you value your books, and how if you keep a record. Let's say you buy Amazing Fantasy 15 for $15,000. You can insure that. You have the receipt. You have the record of how much you pay for something. Insure for that much. Whatever the book is worth, more or less, I'm not worried about that. Okay, it's not something that I'm like, oh my god, my Amazing Fantasy 15 I bought raw for 15,000 is now worth 50,000, so I need to insure for higher. Absolutely, my overall insurance for the collection went higher and higher and higher for many years, but it's not. If anything, it probably start to go down now that I am more in the mode of selling. It's not. I'm not adding any more big books to my collection, so it's not going to change. The value is not going to change. If anything, I sell, and I sell more and more and more. So it should decline. If I achieve my goals of reducing my collection from 3,000 to 1,000, it will go down significantly. Well, I would say significantly. It would go down because the 2,000 books that I have sitting here to be auctioned off is maybe $25,000. Okay, it's not a huge number on a grand scheme of things. So, but yeah, it's not. It's I talk about this on my channel. I don't keep a spreadsheets. I don't sit around and update the price of everything. It's not. It's for some people, this hobby is an obsession of. I know a few people that have spreadsheets. They update the prices of everything on a monthly basis. They do all these things, and I'm just like, you know what? I care my stock portfolio. My stock portfolio. I do the day trading. I do a lot of tradings. I keep update that. I see that on a daily basis. That's something I pay attention to. I'm not updating the spreadsheet with the comic keys and all. I don't use any database software for my collection. None of that stuff. Okay, it's just not something I'm interested in. That's part of the hobby that I don't care to deal with. Hello, TH Comics. A lot of people do. A lot of people keep track of what they pay. I mean, make no mistake, I do that, but I don't need to have a database or a spreadsheet. When I buy something, you know what's on record? The email. This is why I don't delete any emails because I have everything in email. I save everything in the email. All my, everything. I buy something from Comic Link or my comic shop or any dealer. There are invoices. Yeah, that's the record. That's what emails are for. Unlike people, I don't buy things at conventions. I don't buy things at LCS. I don't need to keep paper receipt from conventions or whatever. Everything is email. I have emails. I have credit card record. I have PayPal records. Right? Think about it. The record is there. I don't need to do extra work to keep the record. But yeah, I mean, to me, in my email, I have a folder that say comics, and whenever I, buy and sell whatever, I just drag the email confirmation into that folder. Done. That's it. That's the record. I don't need to do any more. Rebirth, I fell in love with that raw Tale of Suspense 39. Yeah, I have. Well, my plan is to slap one of those. I had 2 copies of Tales of Suspense 39, so I'm gonna slap one sometime this year, just to put one in a slab to sell in the future. One is low grade. One is like the one I did the video. That one probably, would I say, a 4.5 ish. The one that I have that's lower grade, I think is a 1.5. Yeah, the low grade one's a 1.5 because um it's low grade. What is there to say? I'm likely to slap the 1.5, to be honest, because when it comes down to low grade, it's easier to put it in a slab to protect. And to and and not have to deal with people arguing between what's a grade 1.5, 1.8. Yeah, it's easier to put it in a slab, let CGC deal with it, and then I can just sell it later, whatever. But yeah, that's the plan. TX says, so far my stocks have improved in January. You mean like your stock portfolio or your comic stock? Clarify that for me. Oh, comic, your stock. Yeah. Be careful out there for those in the stock market. Okay, we are at record high, near record high. Um, the stock market, for those that understand how the stock market work, the January effect. is in full effect. Okay, the stock market have a lot of trends that are repeatable, if that's such a thing. There are things that happen at certain time frame that make a lot of sense. And January tend to be a very good month for return. Same thing with December. Okay, you heard people talk about the Santa Claus effect. Okay, and then the January effect. That is usually true. Not all the time. Okay, the stock market is also a case of not absolute, but it's a case of statistic. You have to look at um, how the numbers pan out statistically, like whether it's you know the December effect, the Santa Claus effect, the Santa Claus rally as they call it, or the January effect. Not every year. For those that remember last December, last January, how ugly was that? Okay, the stock market had some of the ugliest December and January in the history of the market. Yeah, that's how bad last year was. But that's an anomaly. Okay, for the most part, you can count on December to be very good, as well as January. But usually, bad things happen in February. So be careful out there. Now is not the time to go all in. Just saying, just saying. Now is the time to trim profit at the high, because I will refer back to this video so that in the next few months when the market is lower than what it is right now, I will say, yes, you see, it the market repeats. Okay, it's a pattern that repeat all the time, and people that ignore more so than anything else. Okay, when it comes down to investment, the stock market will hammer you if you don't look back at history. It will hammer you. Okay, it's something that investment professional hate to talk about, because they don't want people to play the market. They don't want people to take money out at certain time. Because why? The people that invest your money don't make their money if you take the money out at a certain time. So they prefer you to stay fully invested. Yeah, that's just Wall Street nonsense. White Whale Comic is here. Comic Book Hero Rob is here as well. I like gold, pharmaceutical, and weed. TH Comics, yeah, weed is a tough one. It's just I have very little exposure to cryptocurrency stuff. I have very little exposure to weed stock. When I say little, that means that I don't have zero. I have very little exposure to that. But speaking of crypto, I did sell half of my crypto position when it was around 8,000 a couple days ago. Yeah, I was buying some crypto at 6,800, 6,600 price range. Once it dropped below 7,000, I paid attention, and then I bought some at 6,800. I bought some more at 6,600, and then I sold half of the position at 8,000. So that's why I play small. Crypto is so volatile. It can jump 10% in a week. It can drop 10% in a week. So when it dropped 10% in a week, I pay attention and try to buy on a dip. When it jumped 10% in a week, I sell half to book some gain and not look stupid if it go down again. But that's the only way for me to play cryptocurrency. I just can't buy and hold. I just don't feel good about buying and holding those things when it's so volatile. I got 15 more minutes to go. So yeah, back to the comic book market is that it's so easy to be enchanted with high grade slabs. Okay, we are all who doesn't like high grade? Okay, you hear the, it's better to have low grade than no grade mantra. Yes, they are there, but at the end of the day, we all love high grade. Okay, that's human. It's who doesn't like, what man doesn't like pretty girls? Huh? Yeah. Well, heterosexual men I'm talking about. So it is what it is. So we all love high grade, but at the same time, high grades are tough to invest in. Okay, especially big keys, because if you go back 10, 12, 15 years in the market, a lot of them have very bad return. Okay, they may have positive return, but if you have an annualized return of say 2 or 3 or 4% a year, that's not good. Not when the stock market is giving you 9, 10%. Okay, so if you like money, invest in a stock market and then use some profit to buy some comic books, and then you don't have to give a damn if your comic books go up or down. Right? That's how I like to approach the hobby. I like to make money in the stock market, and then I take some play money to put in the hobby, and then if it doesn't do well, it doesn't do well. It's not a big deal. uh, Nobody like to buy an investment that go down. Who does? Okay, let's not kid ourselves. Nobody like to buy something that go down. Don't mask it with, but I love this stuff, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, that's what you say to yourself to soothe the pain. At the end of the day, if you buy something for $20,000 and you find out that the last copy is just sold for 15, it's gonna sting you, no matter how much you love something. So, uh, hey, if you don't care, if you buy something for $20,000 and it's worth $15,000 6 months later, and you don't care, you're a better person than me. Okay, I don't like to lose money on anything. Um, so if you can do it, if you can shrug it off like, it's no big deal, I love the book, so it doesn't matter one bit. And if that's 100% true, 100% true, where you're not delusional in saying that to make yourself feel better, if that's 100% true, you're a better person than me, because it won't feel good for me to buy something for 20,000 and see it worth 15,000 6 months later. BTC Moon Guy say, where to take Bitcoin for comics? Absolutely, why not? I mean, I don't have a problem. Like I said, I don't have a problem with Bitcoin. I don't really understand it, to be completely honest. It is kind of goofy and wacky, but I have played the game. I have traded Bitcoin. I have lost some money in Bitcoin. I have made some money in Bitcoin. Thankfully, the profit is more than the loss. So at least I am in the positive trading Bitcoins. And that's the ultimate goal for any investment. Okay, if you love comic books so much that you rather invest your money in comic books, there are many like that in this hobby. Okay, and you're okay that the return is less than the stock market, then that's fine. I mean, some people are just happy because, as TH Comic point out, there's a enjoyment of owning these things as well. So there's a cost of owning them. There's a benefit of owning tangible things instead of stocks. If you're completely happy that, hey, if I spend X dollar in comic books and it's only go up 2% a year, but I'm happy with that, that's fine. There are many like that. You're not alone. I'm not like that, but there are many people not like me. Okay, so I can't say that, I'm not sitting here telling people don't invest in comic books. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you need to understand the return, so that if you decided to invest in comic books, you know that you are likely to get a lesser return than, let's say, the stock market. That's what I'm saying, especially if you go with the high end, high grade books. Okay, so it's just not an easy situation for the market is so inefficient. That's the biggest problem with this hobby. Like I use the Hook 181 example, but here's a big but that go with that example. Sure, the Hook 181 9.8 was 26,000 back in 2009. Guess what? If you are smart and wise and buy a Hook 181 9.8 in say 2011, when it's like 16,000, 15,000, it went down big. Okay, guess what? If you are that smart individual that went out there and bought a Hook 181 9.8 for 15,000 or less between 2010 and 2013, yes, there were many copies that exchanged hand in the 15,000 range. You would have double your money back in 2018. So the buying spot, a stock trader would say, location matter. Trading location matter. Okay, so it's a big difference between trading and buying and holding, and that's the thing. Okay, if you're in this game for investment return, when it comes down to comic books, buying location matter. Just like in a stock market, trading location is very important, because for any given stock, a bigger gain can happen if you buy at the right time. Same thing with a bigger loss if you buy at the wrong time. So if you bought a Hook 181 in 2011 for 15,000, and you sold it in 2018 for double the price, congratulations. Home run. Home run. Nobody is going to tell you that you did something stupid. I can't say that is not a good investment. Even I can't say that. Okay, so location matters, timing matters. Okay, so it's hard to preach that to a lot of people that want to approach this game as far as investment related. You just can't blindly buy something because you love it. Okay, it's a lot of money. Spending 10, 20, 30,000 dollars in a comic book is a lot of money. You got to be able to time it right. And the key, as people in the chat room talk about, is to have cash on the side. Okay, keep your powder dry. One of the key things that a lot of stock traders do is, you don't go fully invested. I told my son about this all the time. If I put 100% of my money already in the stock market, what if there is a good trade available? What if something is a great bargain? I don't have the money to buy it. So it's always good to have some powder dry, to buy things on the dip, to buy things on the low, and have the patience to wait it out. Okay, that's the key. When you have the asset to buy something and hold it for a few years, you're likely to benefit more so than not have the ability and the time to wait. Okay, time and money go hands in hand. When it comes down to investment, people that had to sell something because they ran out of time will tell you forced selling of anything, any assets, will always result in lesser price. That's life. Okay, you never want to be in a position where you say, I need to sell this book because I have to pay the auto shop to fix my car so I can drive to work. Okay, if you are in that kind of a bind financially, you don't want to be in that position. You don't want to be in a position where you have to liquidate something quickly to pay for that kind of expenses. Okay, have the powder dry. Don't fully go into everything. Don't spend every nickel that you have on your paycheck into this hobby. My God, please don't. I can't stress enough that people that blow every nickel they have in this hobby. Woo! Scary, scary. Before I go, 9:56. Mr. Kim asked lots of people talking about a pending crash. It already crashed. Does anybody disagree with me that it already crashed? The market for many books, many big books, dropped over in the financial wording. Anything that dropped 20% or more is considered a crash. Other people can disagree. I have heard many people disagree with that. Oh, it's not. No. If you know how the stock market or any market, housing, anything that dropped 20% or more is a crash. And we had that in the comic book market, in the key market last year. It happened. It already happened. Only people that don't want to admit the truth will say that it's pending. No, it's here. It's out there. The zombie is out there. Okay? Don't go walking on the street with zombie and say that is a zombie apocalypse is here. Is it here? Is the zombie apocalypse up upon us? Don't wait until the zombies start to run and eat your face to say that, oh, it's here. No, the crash is already here. I talk about that on my channel since the end of last year. I show plenty of evidence of many books, even big, hard to find books like Captain America 1. Captain America 1 went down 25% for a hard to find book. Okay, a rare book. It went down 25% last year. So it crashed. The market has crashed. Okay, that being said, the market, when a market crash, it's not uniform. Just like in the stock market. Okay, when the stock market dropped 20% last December and January, did every stock drop 20%? No. I made money. I was communicating with a few YouTubers that also exchanged email with me for the stock market. I was buying Philip Morris and made money. I have quite a few positions that actually made money when the market was crashing. So it's easy for some people to jump out here and say, what are you talking about? This, I can't find a bargain for this book whatsoever. What crash are you talking about? You can't look at one book. You can't look at a book that you are looking to buy for your collection that didn't go down in price and say, there is no crash. What are you talking about? I can't find a bargain for this issue. Step the F back and look at the big picture, okay? And then you can see if there is a crash or not. Stop, put on blinders, and ignore everything. That's the problem with a lot of collectors, is that people just like ignoring what's going on. I'm not buying Amazing Fantasy 15. I can never afford that book, so I don't give a damn. I don't care what's going on with the price. I'm just looking for this variant, latest variant stuff. So this book is still hot, so the market is still hot. That is not the market. Yes, I have heard of that kind of talk before. It's pure wishful thinking. Because if you put your blinders on and ignore everything else because you're not buying those things, then you can't form a complete picture. Now, I don't collect modern books. I don't collect modern variants, but I do keep an eye on that market so that I at least know a little bit of what I'm talking about, instead of just like a lot of people I know, I don't buy Action 1, I don't buy X-Men 1, so, I don't pay attention to that kind of stuff. So I don't know what the heck you're talking about, a crash. There's no crash here. The latest 1 to 25 variant is still hard to find. I still got to pay up a premium to get that book. That's not the market. That's a small part of the market. Omega Comics, hello. Indeed, a crash is here. Okay, now as far as Mr. Kim, before I go, it's already been over an hour on my chat. The crash is here. Okay, the question now is, what will it take to reverse the crash? Okay, I made a video that I need to load. I need to load that maybe tomorrow or next week. I shot a video that talk about what I think is needed for this downtrend to reverse. I will try to load that video next week. But that's is so we here. The crash is here. Okay, let I have had a few people that complain to me that I talk too negatively on the market. I'm hurting the market with my negative talk. You think this channel with on the average 400 to 500 views per comic book video related topic is hurting the market? I'm not delusional enough to think that I have any impact. Okay, let me be very clear. If you want to equate my channel with other channel like Alpha Investment, guess what? Alpha Investment that talk about Magic the Gathering. Do you know how many views and subscribers he has? Hundreds of thousands. Hundreds of thousands. Okay? My channel is not even anywhere in the realm to compare me with Alpha Investment as far as influences. Okay? Alpha Investment with his hundreds of thousands of subscribers and crazy amount of views, his opinion can impact the Magic the Gathering. My opinion here means zip. Nobody cares what I say. Okay? If I talk about hot modern books on every Wednesday and Thursday, maybe they will care. But yeah, it's the impact of my opinion on this hobby is overly exaggerated by a few people. I'm just here reporting facts. Okay, the numbers that I talk about is not fantasy; it's reality. Anyhow, that's it, folks. Enjoy your Saturday. Beautiful day today. Maybe I will get a chance to go out and see the movie 1917. I can't wait to see that movie. I've been waiting for that movie, and now that it is here, I had to see if my wife and son want to see it. I don't think it's the kind of movie they care to see, so I might have to do this alone. But still, I want to see this movie. 1917 is on my list. Anyhow, enjoy your Saturday. Enjoy the football. Big games. I can't wait to watch the game myself. Bye bye.